Don't be constrained by what people around you want you to do. Just tap deeper into your own intrinsic values, desires, and hopes and dreams, and figure out a plan for how to get there.
Okay, at Launch House here with Luba.
Hi everyone.
Also known as Life of Luba on YouTube, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for you guys to meet her today. She is an entrepreneur. She started Loka.dev, and of course she's also a content creator here on YouTube herself. So Luba, why don't you introduce yourself real quick for the people that don't know you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure, thank you so much for having me, first of all. But excited to meet you guys. I'm originally from Belarus, spent most of my life there, then moved to Canada for college, studied chemical engineering, and that's really how I started my path for exploration, I would say. I have quickly realized that, hey, I don't necessarily want to be a chemical engineer full-time, and then stumbled upon tech. Taught myself how to code, started doing internships as a software engineer in Silicon Valley, and that's kind of how my path here has started. Have interned at Airbnb about 5.5 years ago, and then since then joined Airbnb full-time, was a software engineer, then chief of staff to VP of engineering, then a product manager, and then concurrently with Airbnb, I've started my YouTube channel about 2.5 years ago, originally sharing the story of how I became a software engineer without a computer science degree, and then expanded my topic set to entrepreneurship, tech broadly, and lifestyle. And then outside of that, I also sing opera, I host concerts in the Bay Area, or hosted pre-pandemic would be more correct, and sometimes, you know, make online appearances. But yeah, just generally super excited to help as many people around the world as I can to also expand their horizons around what they want to do, kind of think outside of the box and pursue their dreams.
So tell me a little bit more of the story behind how you got started on Loka.dev, and then also even like your YouTube channel. I know you touched on it a bit.
Yeah, sure. I guess I didn't mention that I run Loka. Loka is a company that helps startups hire Eastern European engineers, whether on contractor or direct full-time basis. And that I started with honestly just feeling kind of nostalgia about my Eastern European roots. For the longest time, I wasn't very in touch with the tech Eastern European scene, but then a year and a half ago, when I was visiting my parents who are still in Belarus, I've kind of got reconnected with some of my classmates that were in the tech sector, and I was like, oh my god, you know, these people are so fun. They're very similar to the types of folks that I meet here in the Valley, very worldly, open-minded, and I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to do something that engages that Eastern European background that I have. And honestly, with everything going remote, with such a high demand on engineering, it just seemed like a perfect thing to start, and it's been going really well since then. So if you're interested in hiring Eastern European engineers, check out Loka. And the YouTube channel? Yeah, so YouTube channel honestly got started completely out of curiosity and desire to try it out. So it was like completely just started for fun. I first started my YouTube channel with a friend whose channel you should also check out. Her name is Alexa, and she's Hello, I'm Alexa on YouTube. So started a channel together. It was product designer and software engineer's perspective on different tech things. And so it was like an easier barrier to entry, because when I started, I did not know what to talk about. I did not know how to plan a video. I did not know like how to edit. So honestly, I admire you for starting on your own, because I feel like I didn't have the guts to really figure it all out by myself. So I started with her, and then 4 videos in, so actually if you check out her channel, her first videos on her channel were our videos together. Cool. But then I decided, hey, like now I know how to do this, now I know how to approach this, so I was ready to start a channel on my own. So we had, you know, our like breakup conversation, like, hey, let's go our separate ways, which was totally fine. We're still really good friends. And yeah, and that's how Life of Luba got started. And so, and she like went her own way, and her channel is about UX, like product design. And yeah, I just started for fun. I like started with that niche of tech, and that just kind of like went pretty well. How's
that experience been for you? Like you're now almost at 100K followers, right?
Yeah. It's been super fun. It's been really fun to be growing a community, to see people like send me positive messages of like, oh, I found this content so helpful, or like it really, you know, inspired me to like work harder or something along those lines. Like I think that's what makes me the happiest. It doesn't need to be people who are actually in tech. Like if you know, wanted to be, I don't know, a chef, and like my content inspire you to take that first step, like I'll be very happy with that. So yeah, it's been really fun. I've definitely had my ups and downs with the channel of like, you know, experiencing creator burnout, something that I don't think is talked about as much, and now finally realizing that, hey, like personal brand and content creation is something I'm very passionate about, and like doubling down on producing content. And so yeah, now I'm just like super excited about this clarity, excited to continue growing my following. I've been like making bets on TikTok and like trying to post more on Instagram as well, because I think it's important to expand to more than one platform. But I think generally it's all about like processes and systemizing how you do content, because it's very easy to be overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that you have to put out to grow. And so, you know, getting support, figuring out how to batch record and stuff like that is just really important.
What would be some tips for people that want to get started?
Honestly, tip number one is to get started. It doesn't really matter, you know, it doesn't matter whether you have a grand vision and a grand vision for the niche you want to pursue, because it's really easy to overthink content creation and never start. And you know, while you're thinking about your perfect strategy, there is 1,000 other people who are going to do exactly what you were planning to do in the beginning. So just get started, tip number one. Next tip. Yeah, basically content creation is this big shiny thing, but you need to like try it out to realize, do you even enjoy creating content? Is this something that you enjoy doing? I have a friend actually who is an editor right now, and she started as a content creator, but she realized that, hey, she actually likes being behind the scenes and helping content creators. And like content creator economy is going to be so huge that it's going to create so many jobs. You can be an editor, you can be a producer, you can be a manager. There's so many opportunities to be close to content, but unless you try creating content of your own, you won't realize like which part of the process do you enjoy the most. Another tip in terms of figuring out what contents you'd like to create is thinking about yourself 5 years ago and thinking about what kind of stuff would that, you know, 5 years ago you enjoy listening to or enjoy hearing. And that's the way you can think about the types of videos you can create, because then you'll be like, okay, well, let's say 20-year-old me would want to learn about how to start a YouTube channel, so maybe I should talk about that. Or they would want to learn how to, you know, find a job in the industry you're in, so maybe I can start with talking about that. So that's just like a couple of quick tips.
No, that's great. And okay, what would you say is your vision for the YouTube moving forward, and any other hopes and dreams that you want to
Honestly, I kind of been saying that I want to become a female Tim Ferriss. I don't know, have you listened to Tim Ferriss's podcast, you know, 4 Hour Work Week?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah. 4 Hour Work Week is an excellent read about, you know, just digital entrepreneurship. So if you want to read it, definitely check it out. It's great. But yeah, Tim Ferriss right now just interviews incredible people on his podcast, and he has this whole media empire with like a really successful newsletter. He's been an investor. He has a really successful podcast. So Joe Rogan and him were kind of in the same like podcasting time and crowd. And honestly, it can mean a lot of different things, but I think my vision is to create a really strong media / personal brand that has a bunch of vertical businesses stemming out of it. So I want to be someone who bridges the gap between Silicon Valley and Hollywood. So kind of brings people the knowledge about what's going on in the up and coming industries, what's going on with tech, and also just inspiring people to take action, whether they are in tech or somewhere in a completely adjacent industry. But ultimately, I see myself as someone who gets to interview incredible people, who gets to produce content that is educational, lifestyle oriented, or tech oriented, and someone who can bring that audience who's ideally very connected to my brands to also create products for them.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think you're already doing a really good job, I think, with your channel, right?
Yeah,
and you're providing a lot of helpful information.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I can always be doing better. I'm very self-critical, but I appreciate that.
What do you love the most about being an entrepreneur?
Honestly, it's the freedom of doing stuff that I want to be doing and making my own decisions and choices, and also working with amazing people and building like my own team of people that I want to work with.
Okay, what would you say drives you the most in life?
I have a cliche answer perhaps, but it's self-actualization and self-realization. I think that I have a lot of big things stored for me, and I'm on my path to, you know, achieving them and figuring them out and kind of getting to realize the potential that has been given to me.
Okay, what tips would you have for like aspiring entrepreneurs out there?
Honestly, I think the key is just action, and that's what I've realized for myself too. It's easy to be an aspiring entrepreneur that consumes a lot of information about entrepreneurship, and I was definitely in that place as well, where, you know, I have dreams and wants and hopes, and I love reading about entrepreneurship, listening to podcasts, like reading business literature. But if you're not actually acting on anything you're aspiring to, it's just all a bunch of wishful thinking. So, you know, while you're in your 9-to-5 job, if you have any hypotheses about the type of things that you would enjoy pursuing and potentially pursuing full-time when you leave your job, you should just try them out. If you're interested in like building a tech startup, just come up with, I don't know, random silly ideas, find a friend to work with, go to a hackathon, go to a meetup, and just like start putting that idea on paper. You don't need to be technical. There's a bunch of no-code tools. There's a bunch of ways to put the idea in front of people without really doing a lot of work up front. If you're interested in being a content creator, maybe you want to be like a content creator entrepreneur, then make your first video, make your first Instagram post or TikTok. If you're interested in becoming in like being a consultant, you know, like going off of on your own, being like an entrepreneur consultant or something, then start consulting friends on the side or consulting people in your network. There is always a way to try things out before taking that like deep leap of actually leaving your job before you do that, because you can leave your job but you actually haven't tried anything before that, and then you're like left with so many unknowns and so much anxiety potentially around what do I do now, if you take that leap without taking any action ahead of time. Another thing I would do is surrounding yourself with people who are in that position that you aspire to be in. Ask them what it's like, what it was like when they just got started, what were their dark moments, what were their bright moments, like really understand what their journey looked like and put yourself in their shoes and kind of try that outfit on. Like you're in a fitting room, like, oh, okay, if I was that person, like would I be, you know, excited about the journey that they're going through? Because entrepreneurship sounds like really hot and sexy, but at the same time it's like a pretty challenging path. There's going to be a lot of downs, there's going to be a lot of ups. It's a very windy journey, and you need to, and it's like totally okay to want stability and to be in a structured environment. It's just a matter of getting a lot of information to figure out whether that's a path for you.
Those are some really good points. You mentioned it can be hard sometimes, right? And I think I've heard that from a lot of people.
For sure.
What makes it worth it though?
I think it's literally coming back to that point of realizing your own potential. I always knew that I wanted to do something on my own, and I've taken those bets on the side while I was still working at a job. You know, I've started my YouTube channel, had some other projects that I was working on. I like seeked out networks of people that were in that entrepreneurial position that I wanted to be in. I've gathered information, and then I literally started like putting together an action plan of what would it look like for me to take that leap of faith and do that. Okay, what makes it worth it? I just say it's like the freedom and the fun. Like the downs are low, but the ups are high, and it's just fun to, you know, see your ideas realized in practice. It's fun to work with people. It's fun to define the vision of what you want to do. It's just like, you know, fun to see your own ideas come to life. So I think that's what makes it worth it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Any last words of wisdom that you want to impart to our audience?
Last words of wisdom. Don't be constrained by what people around you want you to do. Just tap deeper into your own intrinsic values, desires, and hopes and dreams, and figure out a plan for how to get there. Don't get sucked into what, you know, your surroundings wants you to do, because otherwise it's your life to live, and you are empowered to make whatever you want out of it.
That's true. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit about Luba and all the really awesome things she's doing. Hopefully she inspired you to go and pursue something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
I'm gonna leave all the links to Luba's socials below if you want to check them out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like it.
And subscribe to this channel.
Subscribe.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of other amazing entrepreneurs and content coming out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then comment below. What should they comment below, Luba?
Comments what your dream is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comment below what your dream is. All right. Bye, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.